Okay, dear. Because the net disconnected, I will give you further time. Here is you can say the diagram, and you have this passage, right? So you have to answer these questions. Ice dash are formed, right? And here is the information: minus 10 degrees to minus 20 degrees or 25 degrees. Then after minus 25 degrees, 22 degrees, formation of dash is found as well as dash level. So we need to answer these questions. You have 6 minutes to answer, but you should write no more than 2 words, right? So your time starts now. Here is the passage for you. Okay, Atika, have you found the answers? Hello?
जी सर।
Okay, tell me the answer to question number one. Here we have ice dash are formed, right? Between minus 10 degrees C and minus 22 degrees C. Ice dash
Yes,
are
sir.
formed. So what is the dash?
-10.
Yes, and minus 22. You can
-13.
no
Yes, sir.
ice dash. So between minus 10 and minus 22, it is what? You can see it here.
Ice flower again. Yes, sir.
So what is the right option here? Ice dash. What is the dash?
-20.
No, ice flowers, my dear. It is the name. Ice flowers are formed. In the dash, you should write flowers, right? You can
Yes,
see,
sir.
you can use this information given and try to find your answer. So the question is ice dash are formed between minus 10 and minus 22 degrees C. So that is
Yes, sir.
what? Ice flowers, right?
Ice flower.
Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is how you are gonna answer all these questions. I will share the same passage with you, and you should answer the rest of the two questions as well. Okay?
Yes, sir. I cannot hear the question.
Okay, it's fine. It's fine.
That's
No,
why I can.
not a problem. Okay, let's move to the next slide. Okay. Can you see here? It is again, another
PDF.
type of question that is summary task. You might have notes,
Yes.
tables, flowchart completion, right? So we have a handout
Hmm.
here. We can read it and then we can try to understand, how should we answer these questions, okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So the first thing is that we should be talking about notes or table completion. Now, here is the note. The question is that we need to answer questions 1 to question number 4, and that is complete the notes below with words A to G, right, which are mentioned here in the box, right? So we need to
Yes, sir.
answer all these, take options from here, from the box below,
Hmm.
and the notes is traditional technique, 2000 years old. Then we are talking about the process. So use wakes to one dash, right? Wakes to what? And prevent penetration of dash, right? So we need to find the
Yes,
answer
sir.
of these two. But these answers are already given here. Are you getting my point? From A to
Yes,
G,
sir.
the answers are here. We need to pick one of the one of the options. But how can we do it? We should scan through the passage and try to find the answers, right? So
Yes, sir.
the first thing that we should be looking for is the word process. Now scan the passage and tell me where is the word process. You can see it here. The basic process of batik is
Yes,
simple,
sir.
right? Now, where does it wax for? Okay, the batik artist has to cover certain sections of fabric with wax so that the wax prevents dye, right? But
Yes,
prevention
sir.
is
D.
all, so dye is already here. Prevention is already, mentioned here. Use wax to what? To prevent dye, right? Or color,
Or
right?
color.
But here is no option as color, right?
Yes, sir. Sir, die.
No, has to cover certain sections of fabric with wax. Okay, now it's a bit technical. You should be very, very careful. it says that these artists, they has to cover, right? So use wax to cover certain fabric, right? So the correct option is C. Are you getting my point? It says the batik artist has to cover certain section of fabric with wax. Are you getting
Yes,
my
sir.
point? So use
Yes,
wax
sir.
to cover fabric. That is for question number one. And prevent penetration of dash, right? And prevents dye or color from penetrating that area, right? So another is D, right? Because it prevents the penetration of dye or color. So for the second answer, you have to choose option D. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Are you getting it or not? You know,
Yes, sir.
the the answers are a bit, you can say circulated, but you have to be careful. It says that, wax covers what? Certain sections of fabric. So that is option C. Then it prevents dye or color from penetrating the area. So prevent penetration of dash what? Of color,
Die.
right? Of dye. Exactly.
Yes.
Now, comparison with painting. And batik must have a dash before starting. Okay. And batik must have a dash. So what can we have? Read further. Now you have to answer question number 3, okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what is the correct option? Okay, let me give you a hint. You should read it from here till here, right? Here is your answer, okay? In this section. Have you found the answers? Look at these options and try to find, a paraphrased form here. Paraphrased or synonyms or even exact wording. What can you see here out of these options? It's simple.
Design.
No, you can see here. It says, okay, so this is because the final design must be conceived before the picture is
Vegan.
okay. So Embatics must have a dash before starting. So what is the final? What is the answer out of these options? Which one will you select? You cannot see it here. The final design must be conceived. So you must have the final design.
Design.
So where is
Final.
the final design in these options?
A.
Exactly.
Option A.
Option A is your answer. Right?
Yes, sir.
And same is the case with, the other one. It's here, right? That you cannot uh, write over mistake because no chance for, correction of mistakes. There is no chance, right? Because it says in Batik, the
Yes, sir.
correction of mistakes is
Impossible.
and no chance. No chance and impossible, both of them are synonyms.
Same.
Is it clear?
Yes.
So this
Yes,
is
sir.
how it should be done. Here is, the exact way it should be done. You should read the instructions first and then look at the words here and then try to guess the word that might possibly be the answer and then read the passage and try to find it, okay? So these are your questions. Use wax to, as I have mentioned already,
Yes,
prevent
sir.
penetration of, must have a, and no chance for. So these are your questions that you should be looking for here, right? And the synonym forms. As you can see here, we have all these things. This is how you can actually find out the answers. You can highlight the things or underline it, right? So for the first one, use wax to cover certain section of fabric with wax. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
So that is the C, option C. Then
Cover fabric.
prevents, yeah, prevents dye or color from penetrating, right? So option D, that is the second one, right?
Die. Yes,
Dye,
sir.
exactly. And so on, as we have done it. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Here is another type of question. Again, we have a table here, and we should not be writing more than 3 words from reading passage one. This is the passage one, and we should not be writing more than 3 words. How many questions do we have? Here we have only 2 questions, one and
Two.
two,
Two questions.
right? So we need to look for the keywords here. Piaget's task,
Piaget task.
right? And here we have past Piaget's task, then past more complex task with new dash. So with new, we should be looking for complex task with new dash, right? So these are actually the keywords with us. As you can see here, no more than 3 words are highlighted. Then again, we have the different sections. So in the summary section, we should not be looking for our answers. In the previous research section, we should be looking for the answer to our question number 1. And in the Collars Baker's research section, we should be looking for the answer to question number 2. Right?
Two.
So this is how you quickly actually reach the point where you should be looking for, your answer. Now, you have to highlight and underline the things for yourself and then try to solve the question. Now, here is, and this section, which is you actually, you know, highlighted here, is your answer. So this invisible displacement task, if you can read it here, from here till here, you will find the answer to Piaget's task. So read it and then tell
Yes,
me
sir.
what is the answer. Can you tell me the answer now?
Sir ji, in the second paragraph. Dr. Emma.
No. Now see here. Several decades of research into animal, you can see it here, previous research. So several decades of research. It shows that it is the previous research, right? Into animal intelligence have revealed that great apes, including chimpanzees, performed their task, right? Which task?
Yes, sir. 2-year-old.
The invisible displacement task, right?
Yes.
Previous researchers performed Piaget's task. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
So you need to be a bit, careful, and you need to read each and everything. Only then you will be able to answer such type of questions, okay? This was just an example. Okay, now let's see the flow chart completion task. So it is easy, it's not difficult, right? Because here you have the passage, and along with the passage, you have these words: molecules, solid, paper, advanced oxidation stages, reverse osmosis, dirty, and filtration. These are the options, and then how water is purified. So here's the first, blank. Then you have the process. Then you have the process, again, process, and then water. So you are actually asked how this whole process takes place. Okay, so can you tell me what will come here in this one, blank one? Read it and tell me.
The molecules.
Look here, how water is purified. Okay, so first is molecule, then second.
Filtration.
Okay, it must go through a filtration process. Okay, then
Purification.
very good. Yes, purification. Exactly. So this is, how uh, you talk about it. Okay, is it clear?
Yes, sir.
So you have the options and you choose from the options. But if even if the options are not available, still you can follow the process by reading the passage, each and every sentence, and then following, where the answer is. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let's move to the next slide then. Here is another activity, right? And in this activity, again, you can see there are, certain options. There is this, fill in the blanks, right? Summary completion, and you have a practice summary. So I will share, the same with you after the class, so that you can do this practice as well after the class, okay? But for your understanding, let me just open this for you as well, right? Okay. So I'll share this activity with you later on as well. By the way, can you tell me the yo-yo is one of the oldest dish in the world? Can you select an option from these options? Just answer this one question. The yo-yo is one of the oldest dish in the world. You can see Donald Duncan cannot fit here. The yo-yo is one of the oldest England. It again cannot be fit in this blank, right? Has played again is not, fitting here. What about this one?
Yes, sir.
Toys. The yo-yo is one of the oldest toys in the world. So it is the probable answer, right? Is it clear? Same is the case with the rest of the blanks. You can read them and then try to select, whatever option best suits these blanks. So this is how you can answer all these questions. Now, another important question type is identifying information, views, and claims and trying to answer the yes no questions, right? Or true false questions. So you will get the text types which are actually descriptive or discursive or persuasive. Descriptive means having factual information. Discursive means where you are having different opinions, right? And persuasive means where the writer is actually highlighting his own perceptions. He is actually telling you what he or she believes, right? Now, the test question types, these question types actually test your ability to read and recognize specific information and also recognize opinions or ideas. Now, the format of the text is that the questions, they test your understanding of the information in the text, and you should not answer based on your own opinions or knowledge. Instead, you should be focused on the information given in the passage and then answer. Lastly, questions are in the text order, unlike the other ones, and only one answer for each statement should be selected, right? Now, here is an example question. Compare the statements and the text and decide whether the information is true, whether the information is false, or whether the information is not given. So these are a few questions. These are the instructions, and the questions are about true, false, and not given, right? So if we take the first question, here are some of the keywords that we have highlighted here, right? The highlighted keywords are personality tests in the 1950s, answers, and right and wrong. So these are the keywords in the question number one. Now here is the passage. Here's the passage, and we have actually highlighted the words, the exact words, personality tests, and here we have personality tests. 1950s, 1950s is also here, right? Now the question is, had answers which were either right or wrong. So as you can see here, from here in the passage, that his works was designed to elicit personal information by asking people open questions about themselves that could not be interpreted as having right or wrong answers. Now the question is telling us either it should be right or wrong. But the passage is telling us that it could not be interpreted as having right or wrong answers. So now tell me whether this statement is true, false, or not given. What do you think? Is this statement true? Is it false, or is it not given? Could you please answer it? You can see it here. Personality tests in the 1950s had answers which were either right or wrong. But here the passage is telling us that, those open-ended questions about themselves could not be interpreted as having right or wrong answers. So it means that this one is false. This statement is false. Why? Because it says something which is the opposite of what is mentioned in the passage, right? So this is how these true-false questions should be answered. Here is some more activities that I will share after the class with you people in the group so that you should be able to practice such questions further. And then some more examples as well. So that's all about it for today's lecture. If you have any questions, you can ask. Do you have any questions? Atika, do you have any questions? Hello? Am I audible? Okay, I think your internet is having some problem. You are facing some difficulty to answer. Uh, Anyways, this is all about it for today's lecture. If you have any questions, you can ask me later in the group, as well as we can discuss it tomorrow in the class, right? Okay, till then, have a good day. Allah Hafiz.